episode number one of what Nick calls Ectotech After Dark. So, night before the premiere, we have a couple little knickknacks to do on Ecto 1NJ. I'm gonna back you up a little bit so you can actually see the car. So, if you're new to the channel, welcome. So, if you're returning to the channel, welcome back. So, a couple little things. So, got our 84 gray hose bracket. I also have a modified bracket for the gray hose for the restoration version of Ecto, but since we're doing 83-84 build, I want to keep it 83-84 style. So we'll snip our zip ties off, and I'm going to put this little guy on over here. So I wasn't really expecting anyone to be on the live stream considering it's midnight, but I figured I'd do it anyway so you can see what went on. So I'm gonna grab a set of cutters, put that on real fast, and then we're gonna this bracket right up in here. We're gonna mess with, hit it with some red oxide primer, and be ready to go to the premiere tomorrow. So that's pretty much where we're at. So let's get to it and get some cutters. I'll be right back. So just enjoy the sight of the beautiful Ecto 1NJ for a moment. Okay, I'm back. So, a couple of things I want to update you guys on. So, if you've been watching the channel, we're doing our 1960 Miller Meteor project car. So, why is this guy from Nerd Affiliated busting my chops? Yeah, I'm still awake. I'm gonna be up all night when we have to do some Ecto stuff. No? No sleep all week is what I'm guessing. So, hello, Tiffany. So, like I said, here's where we're at. Doing a few things to Ecto 1NJ. I'm probably not going to be able to go to sleep. I have to be up very early for duties with this baby for the premiere. So that's where we're at. So I'm going to be on a lot of coffee. Hopefully our buddy Matt from Experienced Explorers is tuning in and he'll bring me a coffee. So I'm going to snip this zip tie. We're going to put this little bracket on for the gray hose. So we're going to be 83, 84 accurate because that's my thing. So that's what we're doing. So. Pop that off of there. Kind of had this all ready to go already. So, but the reason we're calling this Ecto Tech After Dark is going in an ongoing joke between Nick and I that I'm up here, working all hours of the night on Ecto stuff, but I'm really not. I'm an old man. I pass out pretty early, so. But tonight, being that we're pre-premiere, we just came from the very top secret, yes, have some pre-party for the preview. So we weren't supposed to talk about it ahead of time, but that's where I ended up. So met a lot of cool people that I never met before from the fandom. But that's what we got going on. So, very simple, very this, very that. So what I'm gonna do is take this little bracket up top over here. I'm gonna hit it with some red oxide primer. I'll probably make you guys watch that. You'll have to go watch me go on that. So if you're even watching, because like I said, it's midnight. So, I said, here we go. Oh, nice Ecto. Thank you very much. I worked hard on it. So that's where we're at. Like I said, we're just kind of playing off our ongoing joke with Nikki, the grand wizard behind Ecto in New Jersey. bracket off. So this one for the gray hose is made by our good friend, Dr. Karen Props, also known as Dr. Martin. So he's gonna be rolling out this way from our northern friends up in Canada. He'll be rolling out for Ghostbusters Day. So Dr. Martin was kind of one of the unofficial ecto experts for years that kind of took me under his wing and kind of showed me what has to be done and how it has to be done. So I've been a General Motors tech for 20 years, so obviously I can work on the mechanicals of the car, but over time I didn't self-proclaim myself the Ecto Tech. That kind of was started off as a joke, and then it kind of became that. So only because I was, at the time, I believe the only fellow that was working on multiple 1959 Miller Meteor chassis. So that's how that came to be. So here's our bracket. I'm gonna run that off screen for a second. I'm gonna get the little can of spray that I have for this. We're gonna hit this real fast. Are you seeing the new movie? I'm not seeing it right now, but I will be seeing it. I actually will be at the premiere tomorrow. I don't know if I'm supposed to say this or not, but if you're watching at midnight, this is gonna be at the premiere. So I can share that with you, since like I said, it's a little bit late night, so by the time most of the people see the stream, might not know that Ecto 1NJ might be rolling around. So we're gonna make an appearance at the firehouse tomorrow. Made an appearance at the firehouse today. It was very impromptu. Did get to meet the very cool director, Mr. Gil Keenan, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Obviously, Jason Reitman has signed this car. McKenna Grace has signed this car. We had Joe Cyril, the police captain from the original Ghostbusters, sign it. You do your job, pencil neck. Don't tell me how to do mine. Thank you, officer. All that. Eldo Ray Estes, he's the redhead fellow at the end of the movie. He goes, Ghostbusters, all right. Shakes Bill Murray's hand. So, and we always make sure that we give the old girl some love. I'll try to read the comments. So here we go. But yeah. So I enjoy the Ecto life. This is probably going to be the last year to be able to do it full time, because the movie's out now. Kind of caught up with things on the car. The Ecto 1A is well underway. Got the frame welded on it today for the LS motor conversion. So my fabricator was able to hook me up with that. So yes, Gil signed it. I'm not sure who we were asking. No, William Atherton did not sign it. If he's present tomorrow, I'd love to have him sign it. I know he's the villain of the movie, of the original Ghostbusters, and arguably the villain of the new Frozen Empire. I do know what his duties are in the new movie. There's been quite a few Easter eggs and other things floating about that what his responsibilities in the new movies are, but I'd love to have, for me personally, as a fan for all these years, I'd love to have Bill Murray sign this car. I'd love to have Aykroyd sign this car. I'd love to have Ernie sign it. Ernie has already signed Ecto 1NJ South on the dashboard and on the visor, but I did bring the visor from Ecto 1NJ South just in case that we do come across any of our favorite OGs, that they can kind of, put their official seal on it. Will I be working on some new non-GB vehicles, we're being asked. So, yes. Am I going to be working on them? Yes. Am I going to be building them? Only in some capacity. So there is a time travel vehicle on the way of a gigawatt error. So we're going to be doing that. So that's definitely going to be part of the routine. And I know for a while I've been talking about doing a Ninja Turtle van, so I'll be involved in that in some capacity as well. So we'll definitely do the Turtle van. So what I am going to do is I'm going to step off screen for a minute, grab the correct primer for what that's supposed to look like in 83, just so I can hit this so this can dry while I'm standing here doing some BSing. But yeah, that's where we're at. So this is the shop. So I mean, it's become kind of a home away from home. I've spent a lot of time here over the past couple months since getting back from the Wonderverse, but this is going to go from a workspace to, I believe, a show space. So to my knowledge, the reasoning behind this facility is to kind of showcase the collection, and I say that in a way where it's the collection of vehicles. So that's the things that, Nikki and I have acquired over the past couple of years, like the Dodge Diplomat from the TV show Gotham. Is that a 59 Cadillac? Yes, it's a 59 millimeter, as you would want for your Ectomobile. I mean, in my opinion, the only thing you want for your Ectomobile, unless you have an Ecto Z, which is the new Sprinter van, so then you would want a Sprinter van. So as far as the old Cadillacs go, I'm a firm believer in, go with, what it's supposed to be. So if it's not in my opinion, a 59 to 62 millimeter that you would convert to a 59, then I don't know. I don't honestly see the point. I know a friend of mine's doing a 61, a S&S hearse, a Sayers and Scoville Cadillac, and they're doing some modifications to it supposedly through another gentleman that used to be a time machine builder. They're doing an Ectomobile, and I'm not just grasping the whole point of doing the Sayers and Scoville hearse. And I mean, part of doing the car is not just the fin, is that you want the whole millimeter shebang, if you want to call it that. You want the stainless trim, and it's my opinion, like I said, being Cadillac Tech, is that this was the best coach as far as all these go. Let's see what else. What is my dream project to work on? The one I seen was 35,000 in bad condition. Well, 35,000 is a relative number. I've seen these cars go for 3,000. I even saw one of these cars go for $200. It was all original driving car, ambulance, $200. Was in a small town. Nobody seemed to be aware that it could be an Ectomobile or that there was value to it. And apparently a guy that I'm friendly with, just talking to online about Ectos, his dad picked one up for $200. So are they out there? Yeah. I mean, I don't want to give the exact number of how many are out there, but I do know how many bodies General Motors produced, because I had family that used to work at the General Motors plants, and I've been involved with General Motors for 20 years, so I did have a little bit of what I would call the inside track on Miller. So I do know how many commercial chassis went out of the Cadillac plants, and I did get some other info that kind of pointed me in the direction that there was a lot more of these made. And people like to say that there are. It's just that the people that still have them now in 2024, they don't want to let them go. They're the old school, I don't want to call them old timers, but yeah, old school Cadillac owners, where they don't want the car to be an Ectomobile. But if they're not an Ectomobile, if you've been doing any research on these cars, they're usually just some rotted out piece of garbage. So, says, I want one so bad, I asked for one for my graduation car. That's quite a big ask. For my graduation car from high school, I remember that I ridiculously asked my parents that I wanted I believe it was 74 Corvette, was the convertible that was in rush hour. And I said, oh, hey, get that for me for Christmas or whatever. So that was a little bit of a big ask, even then at the time when those weren't really going for big money. But I had an opportunity over the years to be involved with very many of these, including the Universal Studios Ecto. When that came up for sale years ago, I bid on it, and I know someone on there just said that, car's in bad condition, might go for $35,000. That car went for $35,000. I believe it was 2007, the Universal Studios Ectomobile. So not being screen accurate, but being lineage to Universal Studio, used for the Spooktacular show, and also the only vehicle street driven outside of the Sony owned that were actually like licensed Ectomobiles. So unless like with this vehicle where, we've done a lot of stuff for Sony, they kind of, I don't want to say love us, but we have a relationship with them. They love the car. You know, obviously the car goes out for certain things. We did one reverse. We've done other promotional things. So clearly they recognize this as, I don't know what to call it, lineage car, exhibition car, whatever. So I see something about a Jeep. I wanted a Jeep. Okay. Do I catch ghosts? I do not catch ghosts. Marty, the co-owner of the Ecto 1A, so that's something that Marty and I partnered up on. So Marty and his brother Matt started the 1A first, and I jumped in as Marty's business partner on that to kind of help the project along because it had kind of gone sideways. But as far as actually catching goes, this guy says, I'm rolling a proton pack, cost me over $400. That's a cheap proton pack there, boss. I think my first one is floating somewhere around the other shop, and I believe I got that one. That's one I got from Peter Mosen. And it was like GB2-esque, like not exact spec. And I paid like, I want to say like $1,000, $1,500, and I was like 10, no, I was gonna say 10 years ago. I was gonna say more like 2000, maybe 9, 10, maybe even before that. So $400 I think is a deal, especially since the Spirit packs are now $250 for the full size. HasLabs are, I don't know, $500 to $1,000. They're pretty good packs. I like them. I was never a big pack builder. This was always my thing. It's always been my thing. I always, like I said, been a wrench. You know, I worked for General Motors for 20 years. I have always admired these. I don't by any means think they're the best built car in the world. I don't think they're the most reliable car in the world, but I just, you know, you love something, you love it. And I think 59 is the best looking year. And that's pretty much it. You got Stay Puffed. But anyway, Giant. But anyway, yeah, that's what we got. So, instead, I'm going to leave you guys for a hot second. I'm going to grab that red oxide primer. I appreciate whoever's watching. I saw we were up to about 40. Now we're about 10, so I'm sure it'll fluctuate. All right. Well, like I said, I want to give you guys a view of the car because I don't think you really want to see too much of me. But I'm not going to show you exactly what kind it is because I'm not the secret revealer. I kind of keep things to myself. I'll show you that I did updates to the car, and I spent way too much time and effort doing research and getting the right stuff, and I apologize if I just don't hand the information over. Sometimes I do, but most of the time I don't. It took me some of these things years to figure out. Some of these things had no information. And like I said, I've never been one to just kind of run through the gauntlet and say, hey, I'm just going to give you every piece of info that I had. So I just got some waxing grease remover here, professional stuff, brand from the body shop. And I got some of the primer that we're going to use here on the bracket. I'm literally just going to hit it. We'll give it a couple minutes to dry, flip it over, hit it again. Anyone that knows anything about these cars, you know it's supposed to be that Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Hal Dramus, and Ernie Hudson, you know, they kind of built the Ectomobile themselves, so obviously it's not going to be perfect. Let's see if I can put a hole in our cleaner here. Here we go. Get some rags. Not a whole fancy setup, just hit it real fast, clean it up. People keep asking about different levels to the build, so I am trying to show every aspect of it, from just the stuff that we do in Ecto, New Jersey, to what we got going on the 60 miller Meteor that's becoming a 59. Today it was decided collectively as a group between Nick, that is the brain behind Ecto 1NJ, and our whole crew here, that what's going to happen from here on out is there was a parts car purchased, a 1961 commercial chassis limousine. And what's going to end up happening with that limousine is that this upper door section here that's on the car is going to end up on the other vehicle. So let's see what kind of questions we got. Got R.I.P. Harold, do the lights work? I see, it says us law is wired about that. I'm not sure what that means. I have to specify a little bit more. What's your favorite movie? I'm about 25 years older than Ghostbusters. Okay, yeah, I mean, I think Ghostbusters is an any age type thing. Like I said, I appreciate whoever wanted to continue to watch the nonsense. I know it's getting a little late. I figured if you don't want to watch it now, then you can watch it kind of, you know, on your own time. But, I hit the bracket with the paint here. I'll pick you guys up for a second and kind of give you a general walk around. So, I guess there to feel you said we're taking the top off it. So I'm not taking, so the top is not coming off. So these are normally bolted or screwed onto the rest of the door. So on the limousine, being that it's not a Miller Meteor, it's a little bit different shape-wise. So that's not something that I even wanted to get involved with because the time frame on this project of the deadline is very, very, very short. So the fabricator has convinced Nick that it's going to be a roundabout a week project on top of the rest of the build, and we're waiting for some parts anyway because we're doing an LS motor conversion in both vehicles. The 1A is getting an LS motor, which the cross member got notched on that today, and the 1960 Miller Meteor that we're doing, it's going to be kind of the same gig. So like I said, we're here. I'm just kind of spritzing this bracket. We throw our other little bracket on the hose. I'm just going to kind of give the car a once over before the premiere, see what other questions you guys have. Let's see, is that because the new car you're getting will be your main car? So, main car, this is always the main car. The idea was that this is a very low miles original California car. So when Nick first got this, I believe it had 22 or 24,000 original miles. It's just about to tick 30,000. So all the miles that we put on it all kind of got put on during tours. So we did a few, you know, always done, you know, weddings, birthdays, events, proms, this, that, anything that people want to do. But the mileage was always within a certain restriction that we had put on it. So it was always kind of somewhere close. So now that, you know, a lot more people are asking, we get a lot of requests for Pennsylvania, you know, all over the state of New Jersey. You know, if you go from the top of the state to the bottom of the state, it's a couple hour drive, it's a couple 100 miles. So the idea with all these vehicles has always been to try to accommodate as many people as we can. Because obviously, you know, everyone loves it. I don't say everyone loves it, but most people love it. And it's something that wants to be shared. So that's been Nick's goal with this car the whole time, is that he wanted to share it. So a lot of ways, a lot of times, this is kind of called like the people's Ecto. You know, because this is kind of, you know, Nick's the owner, but it's kind of like the fandom is all kind of a group, right? Like, you know, I've put this car together myself, but I didn't make everything myself. Some of the things I did, some of the things we fabbed up, and some of the things, you know, I got with the, you know, the brainchild, or brainchildren, I should say. I'll back you up a little bit here. Just like the Ultimate 84 project that we did with Kip Marshall. So I did a little live video earlier. Obviously, Kip was on there, and he put new logos all around, so that way they're nice and fresh for, you know, obviously what we're doing this week. But like I said, it's not all me, but I like to kind of delegate the responsibility where it needs to be. So like I said, some of the things come from Dr. Martin. You know, Kip's helped us out with logos and decals. I am by no means a graphic designer, so I'm not the person to be like, oh, you know, this line on the logo or this and that, or, you know, I'm a wrench. You know, I've been a wrench, like I said, for 20 years. I can fabricate some things. You know, I'm a halfway decent welder. I know how everything works. I was GM world-class master technician, so I know what the do's and don'ts are of the automotive field, but at the same time, I'm not gonna go tackling a project that I know that I have somebody that could do it better than me, because I'd rather go that route and have it have longevity than just be able to be like, the Ectotech did it. So collectively, the Ectotech is not just me, the Ectotech has become, in a lot of ways, a group of us. So it's, you know, it started off as just me, but it's become kind of, like you said, Kip, you know, Marty West, you know, my buddy John down in Florida with Orlando Ghostbusters and his wife, you know, they've helped out with a lot of things, you know, even just, you know, brainstorming about different ideas. Of jumping and see what kind of questions we got. So, do you drive it to gigs outside of Manhattan? Do you always put it on the trailer? Let's see. Oh, you do birthdays. It says, police like to be particularly, about the law. So, different light bars for different municipalities, different big cities, right? So, with these light bars, 78-ish to 84 code 3 lights, these lights in particular were NYPD, but you got to think of what kind of lights we have now, right? So even when you see this thing coming down the road, it's not like when you see a new police car, like they're all LED, strobe, this, that, blah, blah. So when you see this, you kind of know that it's not that kind of light. So I have to say 99.9999999% of the time, every single cop, firefighter, first responder, they absolutely love this car. And many of them have walked up, cried, said they loved it, fantastic. Even today when we were driving through the city, I forget what it was called. I want to say Hatslab, I don't know. It was the Hasidic ambulance squad. And even they drove past, wanted the siren, wanted the lights. Like I said, NYPD, they're always super gracious. They love the car. Port Authority, they're super supportive. You know, like I said, they see us rolling through all the time. So as far as, it's a gray area, right? Because you're, in some way, you're impersonating an emergency vehicle, but at the same time, anybody with a brain kind of looks at it and goes, it's not your everyday regular emergency vehicle. It's clearly an old car. You know, not everyone knows it's a Cadillac, but you can tell it's a car. It's not a fire truck. It's clearly not an ambulance. It doesn't look like a police car. It doesn't look like any of that. It looks like its own thing. And obviously, anyone with eyes can see it has a ghost logo. So as far as that thing goes, have we had things? Yes, in a very, very minor capacity. It's typically a cop that hasn't seen the movie has questions or wants to know what we're doing, this and that. And then kind of like once you tell them what it is, you know, I think, I don't want to say everyone, but most people won't have heard the song, so they kind of know. But, you know, that's pretty much it. So, let's see. Someone who doesn't love that car. I wouldn't say it's that people don't love it, it's that some people don't know what it is. I've had people pull up next to me at traffic lights and they just look totally oblivious, and I've had one guy goes, is this a police car? Clearly not a police car. So it's, you know, it is what it is. So that's kind of that. But as far as our bracket goes here on the floor, it's been a few minutes. You've listened to me BS with my nonsense. We still got, you know, a couple people watching. I don't really want to waste any more of your time for this evening. I said it's getting towards 1 a.m. So I hope you're all going to get out there, see Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. I'm super excited about it. I've seen a lot of behind the scenes stuff, a lot of other cool stuff. I'm really fired up to get out there and go see it. I hope you guys are too. So this is what we're looking for in my mind as far as color. So I'm here on round 2. I'm just gonna take the bracket. Like I said, I am not the person that picks colors, so that's why I have a great creative designer like Kip. We also have our buddy Matt, who's our creative guy for Ecto 1 and J. So I don't want to say I'm colorblind, but I don't see everything as good as some other people. I don't see as wide of spectrum as colors. So certain things, you know, I can tell there's a difference, but I can't tell exactly what it is. So that's why, like I said, like Nerd Affiliate said, you know, I put the people in place and delegate the responsibility as I have to, because I want the car to be the best. You know, it's not just because I like it, it's because all of you like it. So, but, you know, like I said, I want to say goodnight. I'm going to make some attempt at getting some rest, but we're here, so, and that's pretty much it. Now, have a great evening. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. You know, please subscribe to the channel, hit that like button. Here's Ecto 1 New Jersey. Like I said, we're well on our way on the Ecto 1A. The 60 is on the way, so I'm gonna finish up here. I'm gonna crash for the night and see if I can even get a couple winks in before the premiere. So, Ectotech out. Thanks for watching.